everybody. Welcome back to the Bullhucker Podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Jerry Cage.
Jerry Cage is back again. He said he wouldn't be able to do it. He said I wouldn't ask him, and look where the son of a bitch is, back at the Bullhucker Podcast.
I know it.
Here are the bowels of the Emporium, brother.
Definitely the bowels.
What do you know, man?
I know you ruined my nap, man. I was taking a really great nap right before this.
How many times you nap a day, bro?
Well, it depends on what happens at work.
Yeah. I know. Every time I walk by his truck, he's sleeping. I'm like, this guy, man, he's like narcolepsy or some shit.
Well, you're editing freaking podcasts the whole time.
I know. I got to wake you up. It's like, hey, Jerry, we got to go back to work now, buddy. You know?
And you're all focused on, if I pull in, you're like, all I see is you.
If work knew how much they paid for this podcast and paying me to do this, it would be, or you to sleep. So don't you write me full. We're robbing them. But we got a fun guest back. We have one of an old school, like one of the first podcasts we did, has came back to us to tell us more stories. Chelsea Blecha, how are you?
I'm great. That's why I came back the first time you asked. Hey, can you come back? I was like, I'm there.
Yeah. I saw you in Cables, and we were all bullshitting, and I was like, you should come tell some stories. And she's like, yeah, here's the shitty part. She's got a story she refuses to tell me. Like, she won't. She teases me and teases me and teases me. She's like, I got this story. It's unreal.
And
it's
supposedly nobody else will tell it for her.
Yeah. Like, I'd have to shoot it like it's a spy story. And I'm like, tell me, Chelsea, tell me. And she's like, I can't.
I can't.
People in this story are in witness protection program.
Yeah. 3 aren't even alive anymore because of this story. I'm like, man, that must be some good story shit right there.
If I ever leave Fort Morgan, I will tell the story.
Really? That much, huh?
Yeah. No. You wouldn't see me back in Cables or anywhere for that matter if I told the story. It's bad.
Stuck her dick in the mashed potatoes, bud. That's what happens right there, bud.
No piercings for her.
No piercings for her. So. Chelsea, what have you been up to?
Oh, not much. You know, just hanging out, watching some soap operas. Lots of ding-dongs, bonbons.
Soap opera. What's your favorite soap opera? I'm curious.
The Bullhucker on YouTube.
Hit
that like button.
Bing, bing, bing. Looks like Chelsea's giving back right away. You're also teaching like Turbo Kick, right?
I still teach at the gym. Yeah. Some weeks 4 days a week. Some weeks 2 days a week. I manage properties still. I'm up to 120 something.
That's it.
You know, I'm a slacker like that.
Yeah.
The Brush Central Village, that's going to be mine. Well, not mine. I don't own it, but I'll be managing those.
The old Central building.
The old Central School.
Okay,
will
cool.
be apartments.
Cool.
Those are coming open soon. We're still doing the concerts. Mm-hmm. And now Michael's got the camera business, so that's kept us pretty busy.
Right.
And my kids are 15 and 17. And, you know, between court dates and stuff, they keep me pretty busy.
Court dates?
These are not adopted.
Not that I know of.
No, you said court dates. I'm pretty sure they're yours. It's not bullshit.
Yeah, they're mine. They're cute little kids.
How are they that old now?
Well, this is what happens. You have them, and then every 365 days, they are another year older. So that's happened a lot of times.
Your math is blowing my mind right now.
All the way around the sun.
Holy shit. I just, we're doing our class reunion this week. And as I'm talking to people, you know, and they're talking about their kids like this, I'm like, how are they old enough? Like your nephew is a father now. Sherman's the oldest boy.
Yes.
Yeah, and it blew my mind. I'm like, isn't he still in high school? And they're like, no, he's like 28 or something. I'm like, Jesus, really? How old am I now, you know?
I rent to kids that were in my 4th grade class.
You what, really?
Yeah, they're my renters now. They're like, hey, Mrs. Schrader, because that's what I was back then. I'm like, okay, first of all, don't call me that. Right. And second of all, like, let's just go Chelsea. Yeah. Like landlord. They
can't.
Yeah.
They cannot do it.
No. But, yeah, so I'm old, but I'm keeping busy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice.
Hey, Mrs. Schrader, that beer's not ours, by the way. It's like, you can have it now. You can have it now. And that weed was here when we got here.
I'll take one.
Yeah, I'll take them all. So, but hey, before we go any further, I do want to say, if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the Bullhucker Podcast. What we do is we bring on a guest. Today's Chelsea Blecha. It's so hard not to call you Schrader. I'm having a hard time here because she got married again to the good one.
A good one. Yeah. 2 years now.
Yeah,
so
Michael?
Ingrain it, yeah.
So Chelsea Blecha, I'll get it. I haven't messed up yet. High fives later. What she's going to do is she's going to tell us 3 stories about her life. Now, here's the kicker. Only 2 of these stories are true. One's either borrowed, made up, or partly made up, and a better story. And at the end of the day, me and Mr. Cage here are going to try and guess which one it is. Chances are, we're going to get it wrong. So
I'm getting it.
You should. I think you and I are 0-1, aren't we? We don't make a good team, bro. We don't make a good team.
So far.
All right.
We started off a little rough.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Chelsea, you ready to tell some stories?
I am.
Absolutely. Mr. K, do you want to read them off?
This didn't go so well last time.
You know, I've got faith in you both. Sound them out. You sound them out.
The oldest trick in the book. Oh, okay. Squatter writes, you break it, you buy it.
All right. Fair enough. Well, while you're holding those, why don't you go and pick one out, bro?
Ooh. I am interested in that one. I'll try to play your game here.
All right.
You break it, you buy it.
You break it, you buy it.
All right. Okay, so we go to Mexico. My husband now, fiance, boyfriend, got drunk and bought a timeshare a long time ago. So most of our vacations are now in Mexico.
That's nice.
It's very fun. Family vacations, friends and your family vacations. So we went, this has been, I guess, 2 years ago now, to the same resort. We're members there, so they know who we are. They're great. We had brought some legal to drink in Mexico, but not legal to drink in the States, friends with us. And we had this swim up bar, all inclusive, bought the, extra wristbands for the weekend because we were having all our friends come. And somehow I ended up in charge of one of our old enough to drink in Mexico, not old enough to drink in the States friends. Just happened to be, I was like the last on the totem pole of being sober enough. By
the way, you're an enabler anywhere in the world. By the way, just so you know, you can sugarcoat as much as you want. You're an enabler. Please go ahead.
Legal to drink in Mexico, not my fault.
Right.
So we find this little gal, and she's, super pretty. My friend figures out, how do you say you are pretty in Spanish? Estoy bonita, or whatever it is. Oh, yeah. So she's going around doing this. I'm like, you know what? Not my monkey, not my circus, not my problem. So I go back to the pool. I'm having fun pretty soon. Hey, where'd she go? Damn it. Why is this my job? So I start walking around, go down to the beach. Here comes a security guard carrying her, covered in sand, head to toe. And I was like, oh my God. He's, yours? Yeah, no more. No mas. No mas.
No mas.
So I bring her up to the room, try to get her cleaned up. Still not sure why this is my problem. And, completely cleaned up, trying to get everybody back up to the room. This isn't my fault. So somebody else, please come help me. I go in. She has now sprung a bloody nose all over. You know what, the beds that have like a runner across the bottom?
Yeah.
Blood everywhere. I think that now she's had like a brain aneurysm, right? So I'm over the balcony. Come up here. Everybody's looking at me. Like, right. Just the people who belong with me. Come up here. She's completely toasted. They come up. We try to get her cleaned up as best we can. Now I'm on blood duty. There's blood on the thing, on all the sheets. Get it all cleaned up.
And she's hammered, so her blood's super thin, so she's bleeding like a stuck pig.
We can't get it to stop.
Yeah,
like
okay.
We did the tampon trick, everything. She's not doing well. So we decided we're going to spend the rest of the night in the room. Seems like a very good idea.
Right.
But at some point during the commotion, security has been called. Maybe it was me screaming on the balcony. I don't know. But we're thinking, security's knocking. I've got the towels because I was trying to stop her. I've got bloody towels. This thing is all bloody. Somebody's been screaming bloody murder. I think it was me. And so we're trying to keep her like, shh, be quiet. Michael, some of our other friends, and my kids were there. We're all trying to convince the security people, like, no, everything's fine. It's not us. We're fine. Please don't come in and see this bloody massacre. Security visit 1. Finally get Drunky McGee to sleep. All inclusive, we're going to go ahead and room service because that's the only way that we're going to make it through this night. Start room service. She's passed out on the couch, as she should be. Just hanging out. It's like the Hulk jumps off this couch and just freaks out and starts like throwing swings. We're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So we get her laid back down again. Security number 2. Right. No, we heard that. We did hear that. I think it was the one next to us. So now we're going to be a little bit quieter. Room service has arrived. We've got nachos, all the stuff on the table. We're playing card games, trying to be quiet. Meanwhile, Michael and one of our other friends is getting a little bit more toasty.
Yeah.
The Hulk rises again out of the bed, thinks that somebody has insulted her in her sleep, takes the plate of nachos and throws it onto the ceiling.
Oh my gosh.
We are not in a hotel room. We are in a timeshare unit.
Right.
Which means, like, we can't just, like, peace out and be like, oh, no, that was there. Guacamole is, like, dripping off the ceiling. Yeah. Like, oh, my God. So we get her back. Oh, and she has started to bleed again, we realize. So we get her back down. Now the bed, we had her on the couch because the drunk person gets the couch. Blood all over, whatever. We're going to let her sleep in it for tonight. Michael, a couple of our other friends decide... They're not going to notice that. Just leave it. No, that's not going to work. So me and actually Michael's oldest son was with us, Kinnan. We're trying to like mop this off the ceiling. We're convinced we're busted. Like they know who we are.
Right.
Turn around. Michael is now running around this glass table with somebody. Just circles. What? Stop. Somebody's going to get hurt. Stop. About then, huge crash. It was one of those like 4-foot vases that had the wheat sticking out of it, like decoration. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Completely crushed. They think it's hilarious. Everybody's screaming again. We're like, oh my God. So me and Michael's oldest son were trying to get the guacamole off. So we start picking up these pieces of vase. We don't know what to do at this point. Like we're screwed. So we're actually putting them and crushing them more and taking the tiny pieces of vase and putting it in the other vases in the hotel room because we don't know what else to do at this point.
That's how you get rid of a hooker anyway, right?
Too many pieces. Too many pieces. Pretty soon we hear the blender running. We turn around. Michael's got these 4-foot stalks of wheat, and he's going to blend them down so we can get rid of them.
Once again, that's how you get rid of a hooker.
So, no, we're not going to do that. We get all this shit crushed up. We're like, okay, we're going to take some of the bloody rags and some of the vase pieces and we're going to start depositing them in trash cans around the resort. There was a washer and dryer in our unit, so I'm trying to do what I can to wash what is salvageable. Security at the door again. It is, I mean, the room is trashed. The whole ceiling has crap on it. There's still pieces of vase. Like, Michael's got the blender out. So they come again, and, I come to the door. No, everything's fine. We're good, everything. We heard screaming. No, I think it was from over. We hear it, too. It's weird, right? It's not us. Yeah. So we give it some time to chillax. Hulk is finally completely passed out. Check for check for a pulse. Hasn't bled out yet. We're good. Tampons in the nose. We're golden. Michael and I decided it's our job now to start going out and depositing these small amounts of vase that we couldn't fit in the other vases and bloody towels in the other trash cans. So we're going, make it halfway down the hall, and we get somebody coming behind us. I'm like, shit. Be cool. Be cool.
Who's saying this to who?
I'm saying it to Michael.
Okay.
He has no he's still wearing his flamingo swim bottoms. It's now 11 o'clock at night.
Nice.
So we get to the back side of the hotel, not the ocean side, and the security dude stands next to me. And I don't know what else to do. And I was like, is it dolphin mating season? He was like, what? I was like, well, I was trying to look for dolphins. Ma'am? No dolphins on land.
Water's that way.
So I'm like, Michael, go. I'll distract him. Go. So Michael takes off with his bag of blood and whatever. Yeah. The dude runs after him. Mr. Mike!
They know him.
They even know who we are. We're so busted.
Yeah.
I look around, nobody's watching me, so I'm like casual. We're like 3 stories away from our room. Then I like lap around, get back to my room, and I hear this like boom, 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 boom. What the hell? I knock on the door. They're in there like partying. I'm like, did you just leave me up there with the security guard? Michael made it all the way down. They never said anything. So I was like, we're going to bed. Next morning, we all get up, survey the room. this is not good. We have already loaded everything we can into the trash cans. We cannot throw anything else away. So we started shoving pieces of bloody rags in vase in our suitcases and took them with us. Get to the airport. Now we're doing it at the airport. Pre-security. In the Puerto Vallarta airport there's not a lot pre-security.
Okay.
So we're stopping at every trash can and like throwing away bloody towels and pieces of vase. Except for the runner thing, I didn't know what to do with it. It was too big. So I took it home. And so now I have this nice runner on our guest bedroom bed, and I got all the blood out of it. And we never got charged.
Really?
They never. The wheat was gone. I took the wheat and I cut it and I put it in the other vases. So at some point they went through and they were like, there's pieces of vase inside this vase.
Or you know what? The next people did something incredibly crazy like that also, and they're putting their shit in that vase. Okay, we gotta throw this fucking wheat away and the rest of this other vase because we gotta put this hooker somewhere. That's what they're thinking.
That or they're thinking they're part of the Mexican mafia. With all this blood everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be like a stripper hooker. I've always said that.
Right,
I mean, they see all the blood. Let's face it, you guys are loud. They know it's you. You know. Hold on a sec here. Hey Siri, how do you say "where's the hooker" in Spanish?
In Spanish, "where's the hooker" is "¿Dónde está la prostituta?"
Oh, I could have guessed that one.
Did that ever come out of the security's mouth?
It did not. But the Hulk the next morning woke up and was like, "Can we have a drink before we leave?"
Oh shit!
Are you kidding? No.
Do you explain to her what happens when you go give blood?
Zero recollection of the entire night.
Seriously.
So what's the drinking age in Mexico?
18, I believe.
Is there one at all?
I think for the resorts to have the all-inclusive wristband, you have to be 8. That's how you have to have the wristband.
I've never been. Have you been to Mexico?
I have. Went to Tijuana.
Oh, that's probably on the service days, right?
When I was in the service,
we don't want to hear those stories.
Yeah.
It's a family show.
You've never been to Mexico?
I've never been. As a matter of fact, last time Dancy was on here, she's like, "Get your passport, stupid. We're going to Mexico these days." I'm like, I know.
I have a timeshare.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to. I'll be scared to sleep. Like, what was bloody and what was not bloody in this damn timeshare, you know?
No, the bloody thing is at my house. It's in the guest bedroom.
Or I start laughing when I see this stain on the wall. I'll be like, I think the upstairs bathroom is leaking guacamole. Look at that right there, you know? They probably thought it was mold.
When you have a military ID, when you're in the service,
yeah, you
don't need a passport.
Really?
Nope. Never needed one.
That's cool.
Yeah, I didn't have to get one till, I think it was when Nate was graduating. We went to Belize, and I finally had to get one.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
My buddy Ace, God rest his soul, he was in the Navy in San Diego, and he would tell me stories about going to Tijuana.
Yep.
On the weekends, man.
All the time. Yep.
You didn't have to have a passport, though, if you stayed within a certain amount from the border until after 9/11. You could go down, because the first time I went to Mexico, I didn't have a passport. You only had to have your birth certificate.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was, too.
Yeah, but that was like 2000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was more like 90. 93, 94.
5 years past.
Yeah.
It was 1988. It was a magical year. So, what do you think about that story, man?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
That's a typical Chelsea story in my experiences. So.
A lot of blood.
Oh, I mean, that's what's great about. That's a great story for her. Do you still see her ever?
Oh yeah. You would know this person. I'll tell you after.
Okay, all right. Oh, that's what she says now.
No,
she teases me with, "I'll tell you later." And then I'll be, "Who's that person, Chelsea?" She's like, "I ain't telling you." Then I'll tell you how much I hate Chelsea after that. So, all right, you break it, you buy it. We got 2 more. We got squatter rights and the oldest trick in the book. Well, as you all know, I see one I want to hear the most, so we'll save it for last. So instead, let's hear the oldest trick in the book.
Oh, okay. We're going back to high school. So my first job was cables. Started working there on my 16th birthday.
Nice.
We lived out. Technically, I grew up in Waldona, but in the middle of the country.
Did you really?
River rat.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Hey, I went to school in Fort Morgan. The bus route was Fort Morgan. My address was Wildona, and I milked goats. Okay?
Both my brothers went to school in Wildona.
Really?
So, yeah.
Dirty goat milker.
River rats.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, my goats won awards at the Brush County Fair. Heck yeah, they did.
Nice.
I was an excellent goat milker. That's.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we found the title of this episode.
Moving on. Yeah. This is why she's remarried.
That's what the security.
She's like, yeah, no comment.
That's what the security guard at the hotel called her. He's like, you can tell she's a goat milker.
She's a good goat milker.
They're all fucking trouble. All of those goat milkers are trouble.
You guys don't have to pay for nothing. Your next visit is free.
I have a goat that needs milk, though, huh? Wink, wink.
He's like, Mr. Mike, Mr. Mike.
Yeah. Good job, Mr. Mike.
You are a lucky man.
You're a lucky man. We take care of all the blood. Don't worry.
Your third one this week. He's fine. Anyway, I'm sorry. Please.
All right, oldest trick in the book. I could have probably left out the goat milking part. Now that I think about it, it has nothing to do with the story. So I was waitress at Cable's, which was great because my parents went to bed super early. They didn't drink. They didn't do anything real fun. I was a second of 4 girls. So a lot of times I could say I didn't get off work till 11 and screw around when I got off work at 9 or whatever.
Right.
My best friend Jamie basically didn't have a lot of rules, so she would wait until I'd get off work and we'd go hang out. So this one night, honest to God, the plan already was I was going to spend the night at her house. And I got off work later than we had thought, which sucked because that cuts into our screwing around time. And, we still have to go pick up the guy, to go buy the cigarettes, and then drop him back off, and then, do all of the things that we weren't supposed to be doing.
Right.
Went out to a friend's house, and we thought that we were all just hanging out. Well, we got there, we didn't know their parents weren't there, so they were having like a party. So her and I get there, and her parents were at Cattleman's ball or whatever it was back then. I think maybe it's still a thing, I'm not sure. But her parents did drink. We're like, we could actually tell your parents I'm spending the night at your house. Or you're spending the night at my house. Because my parents don't expect us home. And they're already asleep.
Right.
So now if we tell your parents that you're going to spend the night at my house, they're not going to call my parents this late at night. They're not that dumb.
Right.
So she called. Well, I don't know why she didn't call their cell phone. Maybe she did. But we left a message on the voicemail at the house. Hey, I'm going to spend the night at Chelsea's house instead. Right. And I'll come home in the morning. So we are free and clear. At the time, I drove like a 1984 Blazer, 1981 or 1984 Blazer. Loved my little car. And we were out at this house having fun, doing what we're supposed to be doing. Not really. And we think that, this is going to be good because we'll hang out here. We're not going to spend the night. We're not like that way. But since we had my car, we would be able to then, whenever we left, we'd be able to go and sleep in the back of my car because the whole thing laid down. We had completely figured the whole thing out. We're 100% planned. About 1 a.m., her parents call. And we're like, we'll just not answer it. They just got home. They're probably drunk. They'll check the answering machine. Well, a little bit later, my dad calls. And I was like, well, now we're in deep shit because he's been asleep for like 5 hours. He says, where are you at? Well, we're out at these people's house, but my car won't come out of, I don't know what's going on. It won't go into reverse. And he's like, what? And I was like, well, so you guys were already asleep because I know what's happened. At this point, I'm not stupid. Her parents had already called. So I knew that they had called my parents and woke them up. And I was like, well, Jamie was going to spend the night at our house because her parents aren't home. And now my car, like, I can start it, but it won't come out of park. I don't know what's going on with it.
Dig that hole. Mm-hmm.
My dad, I am the boy of the 4 girls.
Yeah.
So I knew everything about this car. And he was like, well, I'll come pick you up. Oh, no. You don't got to do that. You don't have to do that. They're going to give us a ride home, and then we'll come back tomorrow and figure out the car. He was like, no, I will come get your car. Shit. Okay. I don't know what to do, except for my dad had just just help me do my transmission fluid.
Right.
And I was like, I know where that plug is at. So I crawl underneath my car. I took the plug off. And we drain it. We're at a friend's house. I will tell you the name of this person later as well.
I hate you. God, I hate you so much.
I can't blast them out.
I gotcha.
But I will tell you that his dad had a car in the garage that had the bubble around it. So he's freaking, like it had like this air bubble, like a blow up tent thing around his car.
Okay.
And so this guy was super pissed that I was going to drain my transmission fluid in the driveway. So they brought out like this huge tank. My dad's on the way. I pull the plug out, just praying to God that my dad is not going to get in. I was like, we have to drain it. Right? We are not pulling that thing out right now. And you can't drive off of it right now. I'm like, shit. Well, we're screwed now. So we just got to wait for my dad to come. And if he gets in my car, then he's going to realize that I've just drained my transmission fluid.
Right.
He comes, me and Jamie jump in the car, and we're like, thank goodness you're here. We're so cold. We just want to go home. And I'm texting our friend, and I was like, please, please take that thing out from underneath and throw the damn plug away. Just throw the plug away, and I'll just pretend like I forgot to put it back in.
Right.
Because that'll piss my dad off mechanically, but not in this situation. I have no idea if this is going to work. Zero clue. So we go back out. I mean, my dad's grilling me. Why didn't you call? Well, because Dad, it was way too late. And I thought that I'd be able to figure this out, and they were going to give us a ride home. Go back out the next day. My dad starts it up. Won't shift. We pull it back. Nothing there. Get it home. He's like, you didn't put the plug back in. I'm so dumb, Dad. I'm sorry.
No, he didn't.
He bought it?
Yes. He knows the story as of maybe 10 years ago. I told him.
How relieved are you when this actually all falls into place?
Oh,
this incredibly reckless plan
I knew it wasn't going to work. Like when my dad picked me up, I was like, not only they're not going to pull that thing out because they're so scared of their dad finding this fluid on his very clean driveway.
Gotcha.
And if they do pull it out, they're going to screw something up, or there's going to be enough fluid in there that it's not going to make sense. Like, I knew we were screwed, but we'd already gotten screwed over this hot tub thing a while back.
Right.
And so I was like, well, I guess I can't get in much more trouble than that.
I'm already on the shit list, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I was like 16 and change.
I got to tell you, I thought your dad was on to you, like just letting you dig the hole. That's where I thought the story was going. Like he was like, oh, so this okay, all right.
Oh, he totally thought I was full of shit.
But then it turns out
he believed me.
How did that come up? How did that story come? Was it a drunken day at a Christmas and you're like, hey, Dad, do you remember?
Yeah. By the way, remember that time my car wouldn't shift?
Yeah.
No, because my sister was terrible at cars, and we were reminiscing one time about it, and my dad said, the worst thing you ever did was remember that time you didn't put the plug back in your transmission fluid. Dad, I do remember that time. Because my sister actually blew a rod through the side of... Blew a rod. Continued to drive it. Called my dad and said, I think I have a flat tire because it's making a thumping sound. And so my dad was always really proud of how well I could work on vehicles. And so my dad, up until this story, said the dumbest thing I ever did was not put the plug back in my transmission fluid. I'm like, Dad... I gotta tell you something. Well, I was already like 30 something.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You know, times on this podcast, people told me stories about their parents, and I ask them, do they know? And then they're like, well, they're about to.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, my last one, which you probably don't remember because I know you've done a ton. I had a Mexico story where I ended up in a volunteer Mexican hospital.
That's right.
And I hadn't told my mom about it.
That's right. I forgot all about that. That's awesome.
A volunteer.
Did your kids ever pull one on you think?
Oh.
How many kids do you have, Jared?
I have two.
You have two, okay.
My oldest, our oldest is 33. And then our youngest will be 26 this year.
Did they ever confess to you they got one over on you or no?
Bryant, I suppose Bryant probably did. But Nate, I had a pact with him. Like, I don't care what it is, what time it is. If you're you can't drive, or if a buddy can't drive, or if anybody needs a ride home, give me a call. I don't care what time it is. And so Nate, I don't know how many times he used that, which I'm so proud of him that he did.
Yeah.
Because I had that same option when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And never used it because I was so scared. I'm like, I called my dad at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
I know what that's going to cost me in the morning.
I had that option with my mom, but I would have called my grandfather in a heartbeat because he'd have picked me. He'd grill me in the morning. Like if I'd sit down at breakfast, he's like, drink last night? I go, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, you look like shit. You look rough, bud. You drink like you can tell me. I don't tell you, Mom. Tell me, did you go drink? I don't know what you're talking about. What's with the 100 questions, man? I told you no. I just don't feel good. He's like, what are you guys drinking? I'm like, why are you know?
What's up with the 5th degree?
And he's 100% correct. I probably smelled like vodka or Boone's Farm
it's like
or whatever.
Oozing.
Yeah. He goes, you don't want to know why? Because I look the same way you do right now. And I'm hungover as shit. But, that's, I miss that old man. But, totally, I thought that's where that story was going. He was just setting you up. Just like, dig the hole deeper. Go ahead, Chelsea. Dig the hole deeper.
Oh, my dad did that a couple times. I started smoking when I was 16.
Yeah.
Hid it from him the whole time, the rest of high school, even through this incident, and come back from college. And I didn't, unbeknownst to me, he pulled up behind me behind a red light. We get home, and he was like, so how long you been smoking? I'm like, I don't know, since I was like 16. I was already moved out. He thought he had me totally busted.
Really?
But I actually didn't know he'd pulled up behind me. But he was like, well, I saw you at the stoplight or by Kmart. I thought I was going to get you. I was like, oh, I figured you knew by now.
Right.
Jeez. I smell like it.
Well, he's smoking too, though, right?
He smokes too.
So, I mean, Yeah, it cancels it out, man.
Yeah, it does.
Do you need it? You good?
I'm good.
Okay. When I worked in Pueblo, that nightclub, Helen was my boss. Helen was pretty awesome, but she was a trip. She was a smoker, but she would never admit to being a smoker. She always called it a filthy habit. When I smoked, she'd always talk shit about it all the fucking time, right? There was one time, waitress, it was me, Rachel, and her opening the bar one day, opening the club. Rachel comes up to me and just starts to eat my ass about, if you're going to smoke either outside or in the men's restroom, not in the women's restroom, Larry. And I go, why would I smoke in the women's restroom, Rachel? Why would I be in there? Because it was like, smell the seat all you want, weirdo. Just don't smoke, because then we all going to suffer. Because it was like just two like unisex bathrooms, but it was just kind of one men's, one women's. And I'm like, what? There's 3 of us here. Unless you and Helen are shitting constantly, I have access to the men's restroom. Why would I be in there? And she's like, why does it smell like cigarette? I'm like, I don't know. And then we both looked at Helen. We're like, I go, Helen. She's like, I don't smoke. Anyway, so a couple years later, I moved back home. I'm working for Budweiser. I have my brand new Explorer. I just bought it. It's brand new. I'm going to the Greeley Mall, and Helen had moved out here, is working at JCPenney's. I pull her around the corner. She's outside smoking. I've not seen Helen like 8-9 months at this point in time. She's smoking a cigarette. I almost wrecked that Explorer to park it to get out and chase her down. To be like, you're a smoker. She's like, so, and she just puts it on. Like, I was so mad over all the shit she gave me about smoking and how, you know what's going to do to you. You know what's going to do to you. And I'm like, Helen, you probably smoke, but I was a smoker, so I can't smell it. Right. But I caught her that day, but it was.
Did you confront her about the women's bathroom?
Oh, no. Well, I was like, Helen, did you? She's like, I don't smoke. And she got all disgusted. And that's when Rachel and I, it dawned on us, like, you do. We just haven't, we haven't caught you yet, but.
Right.
All right. I should have told Rachel, where's my apology, fucker?
Right. That's funny.
I would have got it. So, anyway, that's, You ever been a smoker?
I was. I smoked from about, I started probably around 13.
I thought I was bad at 16.
Degenerates, both of you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I started a lot sooner than most.
When did you quit?
But, I think I was 42.
When did you quit?
Maybe 10 years ago.
I make girls.
Oh, okay. You have the kids?
Yeah.
What did you think about that story?
I liked it.
I did. I'm a little disappointed in the ending because I thought your dad was going to get you.
I know. I was waiting for it.
I guess I kind of didn't want to see you win. I don't know why I was rooting against you in this one, but I didn't want to. But I was hoping the old dad would whip it out and be like, not whip it out. That was a poor. That's not what I meant at all. But he would.
I'm glad he didn't.
Yes.
Tell me the truth, or it gets weirder. Yeah. So.
That was definitely a poor analogy.
Yeah. That's gross. But I thought for sure when you tell a story, he was just leading, just egging you on. Oh, then what happened, Chelsea? Oh, then what happened? You know, just won't go in reverse.
Yeah.
How strange.
Right.
It's like the laws of physics don't work where you were at. Where are you exactly? You know? All right, so we got 3 down. The oldest trick in the book, you break it, you buy it, and the last one, squatter rights.
Okay, so I manage rentals, and I have a place in Morgan that, you get good renters, you get really terrible renters.
Right.
Thought these were good renters, so of course I never did an inspection on them. When they left, they trashed the place.
Of course.
So now I'm kind of up against the wall because I told my owner that I thought they were good renters. So I've got my people in there, and I'm just, as much as I can, trying to get them going through. I've been through a few times, and there was like beer bottles and food and stuff in there, which normally I do not allow. But under the circumstances, I'm like, as long as you get this done, I don't tell if you don't tell. Just be done. So they get it all done. I go through, do my final cleaning. And it was fine, except for it seemed to be a lot of, cigarette butts and beer bottles, which, again, I just cleaned those up. Change the locks, we're good. I showed it to a couple who ended up renting it, so I'm not going to tell you where it was, but...
I hate you so much.
I'll tell you afterwards.
No, you won't.
There's always one.
So I show it to him, and I'm showing him how clean everything is. Open up the fridge, and there's like food stuff in there. And I thought, well, maybe I must not have cleaned it out, or the people didn't take all their stuff with them. I don't know. It seemed like some newer stuff.
Right.
I act like I'm totally unfazed by it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get this all cleaned out. It's from my people who are working here. Go in, clean it out after they left. Everything's good. Lock the door. We're golden. Have another showing on it. I go in, and there's a plate on the counter. It's got chips, and there's a little bowl of salsa. I thought, well, this is really fucking weird. I don't know what's going on now. So I still act like everything's totally normal.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, I must have not seen that. Then I think, you know what? They came and changed the locks. At this point, I know somebody's in the house, and it's not me, and it's not the people who did it, because we've already changed the locks.
Oh, no.
And the only people that have the key are me and the handyman. So I get a hold of him, and I said, you weren't back in there for some reason, were you? Because there was a plate with chips on it.
Did you take a lunch break?
Which is like, first of all, why did you put chips on a plate? But this is what I found in there. And he was like, no, I haven't been back in there. Well, I'm shit scared. But I'm trying to second guess myself. Like, there's no way somebody could be in there.
Right.
So I clear it out, and I just put a very polite sticky note on there. I'm going to be putting cameras up. Please, if you're here, please go away, basically.
Yeah.
Go back to do, check it again. I can't even walk through the front door. I'm way too scared. So I call my handyman. He comes over. We go all the way through the house. We can't find any doors that aren't secured. Any doors aren't locked. I go back, check it again. Nothing. The first couple that I showed it to that had the fridge full of food ended up renting it, and I never heard anything else. So I don't know who that was, or if they left, or how they got in, because it was after I changed the locks, and they still live there.
How long ago is this?
Past COVID, 2021, 2022. So they've been there for a couple years.
Was it Dencia's house?
You laughed. This happened to Dencia.
It did happen to Dencia.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It was
It was the brother. It was the brother of the past renters.
Right, who got out of prison. Mm-hmm. Right, because the first time I heard the story, I thought for sure it was a haunted story. And then, but if you look online, there's tons of these stories about people. There was a guy, he has this apartment, and he put up cameras everywhere because food was missing, stuff started missing, and this chick is climbing through the vents. There's like a little cubby above the in these apartments. She's coming down, eating food, and going back up there. And this guy's sleeping while it's happening. How scary is that, dude? Honestly,
that's creepy.
But these older it's an older house. These older houses, they figured out. I told you. There's a couple these stories. Like, Dents can't be on this podcast.
yeah.
She'll know whether it's true or not.
Yeah. That freaks me out, man, with that kind of stuff. Because I live by myself. You know what I mean? I have cameras everywhere. But I remember, like, when I first bought my house, the basement used to be creepy when I first moved in. Like, I didn't like the basement. And you walk up my stairs, there's my refrigerator. So I'd go get a beer, and for some reason, I'd go, hello? I don't know why I'd scream hello into the basement, because if I get a response, I'm going to shit myself. It's going to get, you're going to see what a little bitch Larry can be.
Why does it not seem strange that your fridge is right at the top of your stairs?
Yeah. So it's easily accessible.
Yes.
Convenience.
Yes. That just does not surprise me one bit.
When I bought this house, the realtor is a good friend. I grew up with her son. And she gave me the code before I bought it to go kind of check it out some more, the little lock key. And he came with me, brings a 12-pack of beer. So him and I are drinking this beer, and we got to bullshitting in the kitchen. So we just start throwing the empties up in the cupboard. I mean, I haven't really signed for this house yet. I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy it, but whatever. I'm just throwing it up there. So I end up buying the house.
Maybe Larry was the guy that was coming into my place.
I thought when I left the chip, she'd be like, she'll know it's a fat guy.
Yeah.
Chelsea's she's a smart girl. She'll catch on. But they're moving stuff in. And Mom goes, will you look at this? And she opened it up. There's all these beer bottles. I'm like, who the hell's been in my new house? Like, oh, shit. So, yeah, I blamed it on the ex one. Because the guy who used to own my house, his mom owned the house. She passed away. He's like some kind of hippie deadbeat. I don't know. The neighbors told me that all the electricity got shut off. All the water got shut off. All this stuff. So he would take trash bags, I guess, fill them with water, put them out in the sun, get them warm, take them out back, stab it, and that's how you bathe. Yeah, his name was Jim. So
resourceful.
Yeah, well, dude, like, there was hooks everywhere in the house. I'm like, what's with all these hooks? My buddy Keith's like, they're drying weed in here, man.
He's like, that's a weird place for a plant.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny because there are hooks everywhere in my house in the ceiling. And if you go in the basement on the concrete wall, there's a nice, like, it's like the hills, like chalk drawing of the hills, like some, like, that's hard to explain. This someone got too stoned with some crayons, and it's on one of my walls. I've always left it because.
How long have you lived here?
In that house?
Yeah.
2006.
And you still have the hooks in the ceiling? How lazy are we?
Yeah, pretty lazy. You never know when I got dry weed, Chelsea.
You go in, he just like hangs Christmas balls on it.
I do.
It's like the Flame Steakhouse where you go in and they just change. You just change the colors.
Oh, I don't know. I've never been there in a long.
Oh, yeah. They go with the hooks and you just change the colors. Is that what you do with your hooks?
No, I just leave them.
No, when his power goes out, he goes and warms up a bag of trash with water. I'm glad he left this here.
My neighbor used to let him plug into his electricity if he needed electricity, and I was just like, so he goes, if you need to use a shower, I'm like, I'm going to pay the bills, so I think let's go and shower in my new house.
Oh, I've got renter stories for days. I have one that got the water shut off, and when I finally got him out, the neighbor came over and said that he used to come over and fill up 5-gallon buckets of water out of their outside hose. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Why the hell was he doing that? That's how he was flushing his toilet. Which is better. I have another one not very long ago. My handyman can contest to this, where he continued to use the toilet. And so we just wrapped the toilet and threw the whole thing away.
With
no water. He just used it.
Nice.
Like a camp potty.
Yeah, but here's the deal. If you had water in it, it would have been way more messy and harder to fucking discard, so...
But if you dump the water,
Yeah, no, I know.
Gravity will take it.
Mm-hmm. We used to have to do that in our garage on Main Street because it didn't have water to it, but it had a restroom, but I don't know what happened to the pipes, so we'd always go out to the house and we'd fill up big 5-gallon buckets of water and keep them in the bathroom there in the garage. Yeah, so whenever we'd have parties or something, it'd be like, hey, there's a bucket there, so you make sure you...
Dude, in my basement, it's unfinished. It's all concrete. There's one wall that's kind of framed where the washer and dryer is, so they put all the pipes and shit in. And the other side, there's a toilet just sitting there. It's hooked up, but we call it the prison shitter. Like, if you got to use it, it's because it's how, if you got to do it, you're going to do it in front of everybody. Because they're literally right behind the furnace in the middle of the damn room.
You're like, don't mind me. I really had to go.
Yeah.
Larry's like moving his laundry along. Nature calls.
Yeah, you know what? You're joking around, but I'm like, man,
it's like going to the bathroom at the club tap. Bed dresser, it's just got the steel freaking prison toilet.
Have you ever seen Maybe not now. They've really cleaned it up.
Oh,
but,
man.
Back in the day when that place used to be popping, man, dude, that was a scary bathroom, man. That was, well, no bar restroom is really amazing, but...
There's a bathroom at Tap. I thought that was what the alley was for.
Yeah, well,
right.
You know what? That's probably the better choice. Good for you, Chelsea. But then again, I'm not picking on the tap room.
No, they've done... Ryan and Christine have done an amazing job. They flipped that place 180.
During COVID.
Oh, my gosh.
It looks awesome in there, man.
It's definitely...
I haven't been in there for a long time.
Oh, really? You should go check it out.
Since I think my 30th birthday.
So, 20 years ago?
A couple years ago. A year or two ago. A little bit before COVID.
It's they did a good job.
Oh, yeah.
They did a good job. It looks really
Open
nice
the ceiling up. I mean,
yeah.
It looks huge compared to what boxy and just no good what it used the way it used
Fine.
to be.
Twist my arm, I'll go to the bar.
Yeah, go to the bar, Chelsea.
If you go, I'll see you there. I'll be there. I'll probably be there tonight.
I'll tell you what, the club, the bar I worked, because there was a long bar when you walked in and 2 small bars, and my bar had shared a wall with the women's restroom. This is a meat market, man, so there was fights every day. You know what I mean? So the bouncers would be hauling guys out, and I hear a slam against the wall, and I'm like, God damn it. So I tell the bar back, like, stay here. I have to venture in there and see what's happening. I go in there, and, dude, women's restrooms are disgusting in bars, too. I thought the men's was bad, but I was like, holy shame on all of you. Nasty. But there's 2 cholas on the floor wrestling around, so I got to try to pick one up and haul her out and stuff. But when I walked in, I was like, son of a bitch.
It's all...
I'm a slobby guy. I'm offended right now. How's this happening?
This floor's stickier than the one in the men's restroom.
Yeah. Well, because you have to wait till the last second, otherwise they know what you're doing.
That's true. But,
I mean, it's a get in, get out situation.
I bet.
And if it takes longer than expected, it is a, like, you run the hand dryer so it seems like you washed, but they didn't wash.
Humans are horrible people.
Or they walk out shaking their hands like they're still wet.
Yeah.
They didn't wash.
Yeah.
If they're making a show of it, they didn't wash.
They didn't do it.
These are helpful tricks, by the way. I didn't really realize that until...
You are welcome.
Yeah. If they're doing if they're doing jazz hands when they walk outside, it's like, oh, you filthy.
Yeah, like, why are you showing it off? You're doing it so people think you washed your hands. Because most of us just do one of these things.
Right. You ever been to a Bronco game?
Oh, yeah.
I have. Me and Dencio did. I don't remember the end of it, but yeah, I remember the beginning of it.
I'm shocked at that statement, but I got to tell you, first 3 quarters are okay. 4th quarter, there's no towels, no nothing. So everybody's walking out there like this, man. You just got to run your hands over the water like you're blessing it.
So you're saying nobody's washing their hands. Yeah. Everybody's just
everybody's walking outside like...
It's 4th quarter. Everybody knows.
Everybody's like, woo!
There's enough alcohol on them. It's probably sterilized.
There's like they're filming a musical in there. Like, you know? So, what did you think about that one, Jerry?
I like it.
Yeah, me too. Those are all 3 great stories. Those are a lot of typical Chelsea stories, and like I said, in my experience with this woman. So, do you have an idea? Don't say it.
I think I do.
Do you really?
I think I do.
I think I do too, but we'll see. So, what we do is we rock, paper, scissors. You're gonna break my heart, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're a 4-pumper, aren't you?
I am a 4-pumper.
That's disgusting.
I'm sorry.
What are you? I forget.
It's from the milking the goats.
Just one more pump, Papa. Just one
more
more
pump. We got to get one more squirt.
If they give it up on 3 pumps, it's not worth my time.
You did your job too well.
That's right. Every time I see it on TV now, I sit there and watch it and think, record this, Larry, to put it on your little Facebook. Like, it's 3 pumps. See, they're doing it in Hollywood.
I'm usually a 3.
We're doing 4 pumps now.
I know.
Ready? Damn it. All right. Damn you, Jerry. 3 great stories. The oldest trick in the book, Squatter writes it, you break it, you buy it. Here's what I'm thinking. The oldest trick in the book is, I think that's a true story. It's a pretty, I just think it's a true story. I'm disappointed in the endings. Like I said, I love you, Chelsea, but for some reason I was rooting against you on that one. So I was hoping Dad would triumph, but next time, Pop. Anyway, you break it, you buy it. That's a Mexico story. That one is, if it's false, I'll be upset because that is a Chelsea story. Like, if I heard that story and like pick up Bullhucker guest, I'll be like, Chelsea Blecha next. So, Squatter writes, for only one reason, because you had mentioned if Dency was on here, she would pick something out after you told that story, you had made that comment that if she was on, she would have picked one out. So that's the only reason. You've done a good job, because I didn't really see anything else I would have picked out. That's the only reason I'm picking that from that comment. So what do you think, Jer?
I think I'm going to go with oldest trick in the book.
Why is that?
So I do a little bit of mechanicking. I grew up in the garage, and you can drain the oil, but even though you drain it, you can still shift. No, it's not for a long time.
But it wasn't oil, it was
tranny fluid.
Oh, okay.
Still oil.
Okay.
Yes, they're a little bit different.
Okay.
One's red, one's brown. So,
okay.
But so he would have been able to shift it, and that's why I'm going with oldest trick in the book.
Oldest trick in the book. So I'm gonna do that. Squatter's right. So you're gonna go oldest trick in the book. So before you flip that over, I do want to say thank you to the Brush Emporium. Thank you for giving us this podcast studio. They've been so amazing and awesome here. You've eaten here, yes or no?
I've not.
You've not eaten here?
I don't come to Brush much.
That's because you're not cool. Anyway, don't worry.
It's okay. I'm from Oregon, too.
Mustangs.
But that's very cool. This is the first time you've been in here, though.
Yeah, it is. Last time you took me to the Haunted Theater.
That's right. You were in the Haunted Theater. Both times we were on this podcast at the Haunted Theater. So, but thank you to the Brush Emporium for letting us have this podcast down here. It's made it so much easier, and they've been so supportive. They've been really awesome about everything. If you want a unique gift, come on down here to the Brush Emporium. They have a lot of stuff upstairs from local vendors, people who make this homemade stuff. So come down and support local people, because if you don't, well, then you're a horrible person, and Jerry Cage will do the unspeakable. But thank you so much. Support small business, because if you don't, it goes away. All right? What else, Jerry?
And click that little red button at the bottom. It's one small click for you, but a huge click for us.
Oh, see, he's got it off the bat. So good. So good. High five. Great success. Borat impression is horrible. Anyway, so you're taking the oldest trick in the book. I'm taking squatter rights. Miss Blecha, let's see your board.
What frustrates me, because that was a well-placed comment, because I said Densia will know one of my stories is true, and so I thought if I said that, you would know that that one was true, but you were right, that was the fake one. I mean, I've told you the whole story. We didn't make it all the way home. I mean, it wasn't going. But, yeah, that's squatter rights. I do manage a lot of places, and I have seen stuff in some of my properties that make me wonder. But that particular story is not true.
I love supernatural stories. Chelsea, do you have one like that for anything being rented?
I do have one from when I was a waitress in Alamosa.
So what was it?
Oh.
Come on, you're skipping ahead.
God, I am horrible. What was not true about the story?
Yes.
Nothing about that one was true.
Oh, that was all.
No, I've had rentals where I think people have come in. I've had like garages that have bedding and stuff in them. Right. But nothing about that true story was true.
Catch.
Okay.
Usually it's like beer bottles in the garage.
Right.
You know, like weird, I don't know.
High schoolers looking for a place that's open.
Yeah. But no, I've never actually had somebody, as far as I know, that's living in one of my vacant units. Please don't live in any of my vacant units.
Don't tell them where it is. Don't worry, you can tell me either, so it's fine.
Right.
You have had a haunted story.
I do have a haunted story from when I was a waitress in Alamosa during college. And I don't even believe in ghosts.
How about a quick one? Tell me the story.
Oh, okay. The short version is I worked at this little diner, and everybody said it was haunted, and I was like this like strong Christian, like I don't believe in that shit kind of thing. Yeah. And I may have still smoked at the time. And but we used to be closed between lunch and dinner, and we had to change out paper linens for like actual linens. Right. And he was real particular, so I went in, I got everything set up. The cook wasn't there yet, so I was like, screw it, I'm going to go outside and have a cigarette. And when I came back in, and this is such a stupid story, I hate even telling people the story, but we had to fold the napkins. I came back in, all the napkins were flat, the fork and the spoon were here, and every single butter knife was behind the chairs. Really? And I knew it was the cook. And I was so mad, and I was yelling at him. I was like, this isn't funny, because he was trying for so long to convince me it was haunted. Yeah. And to the point where I called the owner, his name is Nacho, and I was like, I'm where is he at? I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And then he pulled up.
Really?
So I don't know. To this day, I still think that I go back and forth. But I worked there for about another week, and then I went over to the motel side. I couldn't handle it.
I gotcha. I was being like a rental story. Like you got a rental that when people rent it, you're like, good luck with that, you know?
No, I've had renters who've told me things are haunted, but there's places I don't go. Like the basement of this one I have on Lincoln Street. I don't go in there.
Really? Just creepy.
It's just creepy. I had a very lovely Southern lady who lived upstairs who told me that there was people living, like spirits that lived down there, and I thought she was full shit. But now I don't go down there anymore.
You didn't hear anything. You just from her telling you that.
Yeah, you know, like she was spiritual kind of person. And so no, I try to stay away from the haunted stuff.
Yeah.
Even though you don't believe it.
Even though I don't believe it. There was a place here in Brush. It was open, and one of my investors wanted me to go take a look at it. And I made it about halfway through there, and I was like, every hair on the back of my head was down. I was like, no, I'm done. This place is terrible. You don't want to buy it.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. At the theater, I always teased about. I didn't like being there alone. I got real weird feelings in there. And Adam would always talk shit like, I don't believe in ghosts. I'm like, if you're going to haunt somebody, head home with his fucking ass.
Yeah.
Okay?
Follow Adam.
Wake him up in the middle of the night, clanging his pants and shit, okay?
So the place I'm talking, you know where Brush Hair Company's at?
Yes.
Straight across from there.
Wait, British Hair Company. Is it on 34?
Yes.
Oh, the old Vaughn's Furniture.
Oh, it's so creepy.
I wouldn't go in that basement either. I've been in the basement. I wouldn't go.
Everything about it's creepy. There's so many, and I couldn't make it all the way through.
Most of these basements, excluding this one, are creepy and Brush. Although, two mediums I've had on the podcast have both sensed a little boy down here.
Thank you for that information. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
She's like, never again.
Yeah. And it's funny because the first one picked up on it. The second one I didn't say a word to, and they're like, she's like, there's something down here. And I go, yeah, us. And she's like, no, there's like a little boy scared. And I'm like, oh. Okay,
well, now there's a little boy and an old woman scared in this basement.
Yeah, just so you know.
Don't touch me.
They followed me home one day, and then I would take a shower, and I got naked, and they're like, okay, well, back to the fucking Emporium for this, because, oh, my God, ick, see you soon, fat boy.
It's okay, don't let Earth into it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chelsea, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you for having me back.
It's been awesome to have you back. It's good to see you, too.
Yeah, I'll tell Mike he has to come up with some stories now.
Absolutely. Tell Blecha to come back. Although, you know what? I thought about him one day. I saw this documentary, and it had some on crows, and crows can remember human faces.
Can you not encourage that?
Dude, it happens. Yeah. They can actually recognize human beings because he's got a story about one that was messing with him.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, you saw that. And I was like, I gotta call Michael Blecha. Michael Blecha. Tell him he's not crazy, but we'll get Mike back on.
Don't tell him that. My daughter's cat brought a live bird into the house the other day, and he wouldn't even mess with that.
Scared of birds.
I mean, I thought I screamed loud.
Yeah.
And he was like, I ain't touching it. Like, what am I supposed to do with it? It's like screeching.
You're supposed to be the man of the house. Freaking thing out of here.
Yeah, he's not a bird fan. No, do not tell him about the crow documentary.
I can't make any promises. All right.
Fine, I'm not telling you my other story then.
Oh, you were going to anyway. Don't tangle that in front of me. Anyway, Jerry, thanks for coming back on, bro.
Of course.
We'll be seeing a lot more of you, I hope.
Yes. It depends.
I buy him beer. I treat him nice. Jeez.
It's actually Dencia's fault that you got woken up from your nap. She was supposed to be here.
Yeah. And then Dencia.
I'm definitely not coming back now.
Listen, Dencia's got a beautiful
So I was second
heart.
choice.
You're sloppy seconds. She's got a beautiful heart, and she's a good friend, but she's a flake. Dencia's a flake.
I didn't say that.
I did. She'll be late to her own funeral, I promise you. Anyway.
We're starting at late. We already talked about it.
Anyway, Jerry, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Moose Lundstrom, and we'll catch you next time. Peace. Hey, guys. Thanks for checking out the episode and supporting the podcast. It's been a pretty hectic July so far. I've had a lot of stuff going on. So next week, we're going to take one more week off of podcasting. And after that, we're going to come back full bore and have one every week again. So I'm sorry for the inconvenience, guys. Once again, thank you for supporting us. But we're going to take one more week off, and then we'll be back at it, all right? See ya.